Hey YouTube, Amber Honey Raven, the Big Fat Witch. How are you, my honey buns? I am back with another deck review, y'all. I am filming. I'm in Arkansas, so I'm filming versus filming. Okay, we are about to look at palmistry at your fingertips. This is the complete oracle for reading your character and destiny in your hands. It is by Johnny Fincham. This gets pretty good reviews, you guys, and it's available on Amazon. It's less than 10 bucks with shipping right now. I will put a link in the down bar if you want to go check it out. I picked this up. It's been, y'all, I've had this thing for years. I think, yeah, I paid $15 for it. So just saying, this has been out since 2013, but it's really cheap right now on Amazon. So I don't know what I don't know what the price will be when you go check it out, but right now it is literally $5.95 plus like $4 shipping. So it's cheap on Amazon. If you've ever been interested about palmistry, this is a great little starter. So it comes in a box, ASMR, with no nails. That is like the most hillbilly ASMR ever. Comes in a box, and it's the hard box, which I love, and then it has like the little pull tab, which I also love. I love these when they're all like contained. I don't mind the the card slide boxes where the cards actually slide into the little thin box. I don't mind them. I just prefer these hard boxes because I feel like they keep my cards safer. So when you open the box, you have a hardback book. I'm not joking, y'all. This is like really good quality. And then you have your cards. This is the back. So I'm going to take them out. And they're all like in a nested, this one got stuck. They're all like in a nested little area. So I will take them out and show them to you. These are really good quality. I'm kind of like, I'm not surprised because, you get good quality stuff sometimes. I'm trying to think of what company these are by. Where did the lid go? Duh, I'm looking at it. I don't know what company these are by. Iker Spozio is the commissioned artwork, and Watkins Publishing is the one who did it. So I don't know this company, but I love the cards. So the book is How to Read Any Palm, the Complete Practical Guide. Again, it's a hardback book. I'm not going to go through every page, but they take you through getting to know the hand. They talk about size, span, color, and texture of their hand, the shape of the hand. They basically give you the fingers, the major and minor lines, a brief history of palmistry. This is a quality book. The book, it's on its own, is worth looking at, you guys. I think you would really get into it. It talks about what hand reading can actually tell you. So if you've ever been interested, this is a really good place to start. And it's, like I said, it's super cheap. I also want to say, I'm not doing these videos to try to sell you anything. I just thought it would be fun to do like a tarot and oracle review series so that folks can see them firsthand if they are interested. So as you can see, again, there are like, there's print inspections. They talk about the areas of the hand, the shapes again. This is it's pretty thorough, actually. Yeah, and I'll do maybe a more in-depth video on this. I think that you guys might appreciate that, just to kind of show how some of how some of the cards actually do correspond to reading the palm. But I will say, if you see this, I love this. There's a case study here, and they basically show you, these are the hands of Ivy, a 34-year-old unmarried hypnotherapist. Skin texture, finger stiffness, and relative length of digits are marked. Fingerprints have been highlighted to aid identification. So they basically are giving you a case study to show what they see and what you should be seeing, things to look for with palm reading. I actually really appreciate that because a lot of palmistry books that I've read have not given you an actual, okay, here's what it looks like in the field. And that's kind of what I think a lot of us are looking for. There's a little checklist at the back. They do have further reading that you might want to look at. Now, I will tell you, the Nail in Clinical Diagnosis is a book that they recommend. It's an older book, but I've actually read that, and it's really good. So this is cool. And I'll show you the cards. They're not like super duper interesting. I say interesting, but see how these are like hand shapes, and then you can turn it over. Like this one, it would represent the earth hand because it's kind of, you know, square, thick-boned, heavy with short fingers. So these are like flashcards, basically. Um, and they tell you what each size and shape of hand. This is the water hand. This is the fire hand. What would you think would make this a fire hand? A fire hand is rectangular in the palm, short fingers. The palm is warm and the lines are deep in red. I have a fire hand. The active type is acquiring skills and moving on, going places. It's an action type of action feeling. Deep feelings and emotions tend to be ignored, repressed, or displaced. Fire naturally abhors water. And you know, water is kind of your emotional symbolism throughout pretty much any study. It says career is crucial, often self-employed, tends to work in management, yep, entrepreneurship, yep, the media, yep, money markets, yep, jobs that motivate people, yep, this thing is right on. And then this would be your air hand. I almost said airhead. This is the largest. The air is the largest of the elemental hands. Light, bird-like bones, long fingers, square palms. Anyway, they give you that. So they go through like your basic shapes first. Now you're looking at the mounts of the palm, which the mount would be the raised areas, and see how they highlight all that for you, and all of the information is on the back. This is your Jupiter finger, and if it's long, it reflects your ego, and it measures your sense of power. This is a short Jupiter finger, which reflects, you know, if it's short, it's kind of a diminished sense of self-importance. You know, it's like you just don't think enough of yourself. So your middle finger, if it's long, it's, you know, hardworking attitude, you know, serious, very tenacious person. Again, it just goes through if you have a short one. This one is kind of a person who needs to mature a little bit. Yes, it looks like a child hand, but I know adults that have this. It's a person who clings to convention, to try to maintain like stability. They're not a super stable person on their own, so they have to kind of hang on to somebody else or something else. They don't really conform to society's rules, so a very childlike person. Looking at the ring finger, if it's long, this is a person that has to have a creative outlet, a person that really loves to express themselves through art, and they like to be popular. This is kind of your, you know, so if you look right here, my ring finger would not be considered super long. So my ring finger basically, and this is your Apollo finger, this one is creative expression really centers more about your life experience. It's more grounded in truth. This particular finger also symbolizes a person who really doesn't trust anything that's superficial. They want things to be grounded in truth. They want things to be grounded in fact. It also, if there's a bend toward the Saturn finger, it's a person where they kind of get lost in their head sometimes, but their family, you know, work, family, and duty can all stifle their creativity as well. So, again, these are really, really cool. Look at the pinky finger, Mercury finger. I'm not going to go through each of these, okay? Your Mercury finger, your thumb. This talks about the thumb length. The more bendy the thumb, the more laid-back personality. So if you're a person who can really, you know, some people can't bend their thumb all much, but that means that you're really laid back. If your thumb is short, it means that you don't have a lot of willpower or drive, or generally. Now, y'all, I had to look at this card twice, because y'all know this looks like y'all know what that looks like. Look, and I'm a lesbian. I can't be looking at all this kind of stuff. It'd just be, you know, it'd be scaring me. So anyway, this talks about the shape of your fingertips, square, pointed, spatulate, which would be this one. And I'm just saying that particular finger is the one that made me think I had pulled up some pornography because, oh my goodness, I saw well, never mind. It's been a long time since I've seen one, but I did see one that looked like that one time, and maybe that's why I haven't looked at one since, because I was like, ah! Anyway. So these are talking about the loops, which talk about your fingerprints. Right palm, your ulnar loop. This is talk about your composite loop. This is very detailed, you guys. Your arch, you know, whether it's tinted or spiraled or whorled, because all of those things matter. Again, you can get as detailed as you want, or you can just focus on one aspect of palmistry, but this is a whole study and discipline in and of itself. This is like tarot. There are so many facets of it that it would take you probably years to learn every facet, but learning it, the process of it would be fantastic. This goes into what most people think of as palmistry, which is the heart, head, fate, and lifelines. And it talks about, you know, if you have a long one or if they intersect, again, you have your reminders on the back of every single card. This is your lifeline. Now, here's the deal. The lifeline is an indicator of your energy, like your sense of security, and how stable you are as well. So it talks about whether or not it bulges, if it curves, if it has any islands. They kind of look like chain links. You know how sometimes you'll look at it and there'll be like these little hash marks, how many islands you have. Those things can signify periods of difficulty, like divorce or significant relationships ending or even bankruptcy. So, yeah, they get that specific. If your lifeline is short, see how there's that one? This also can indicate you have an unusual lifestyle or it's unstable. It's not a very stable situation. This is your heart line. Yep, I'm not going to read all of these because there's so many of them. Your headline, again, you get a couple of cards with each one because they want to know if it's short, long, if it's bonded with another line. This is your simian line. Now, I will address this and say simian can be some people do not like that term. That's actually a very old school term, and it can be offensive because, well, let's just say. Let's just look this up. One moment, please. One moment. Some palmists do not like to use that. Yeah, so I want to say simian lines are a simian crease are supposed to be a little more rare, but I'm trying to look up why. I want to say the reason I read about this, and it was seen as an offensive term because it kind of, I'll have to look. It kind of talked about people who, I want to say that it was related to people who had Down syndrome, that they have an abundance of simian creases. So some people don't like that word. Some people use the transverse palmar crease, which is more tedious, but if you're trying to be a little more sensitive, like for instance, if someone had a child with Down syndrome, you may not want to use that term if they find that term offensive. Just a note. This line is your fate line. Now, a lot of people, I did not know this, a lot of people get this line confused. They think their heart line is their fate line, but no. The fate line, if it's long or short, of course, you know what that means. My fate line actually tends to be short. I'll tell you what my fate line means. Yeah, this actually is your character, your attitude to work, personal goals, and intentions. If starting halfway up the palm shows a person whose sense of direction develops in their 30s, and that is where my fate line starts. My sense of direction did develop in my 30s. The higher up it develops, the later in life your sense of direction with yourself develops. If it's connected to your lifeline, it shows that your career is motivated by a sense of security. If it's missing, it can show an uncertainty as to what to do in life and a vulnerability to being dominated by stronger characters, cults, creeds, whatever. So some people, they can't find their fate line at all. Some people don't actually have one. Yeah, read up on that. This is your Apollo line. Again, they go through, your intuition line. They show you where on the hand it is with that red line, the health line. Check this out. This is your music loop and your whirl of isolation. Okay. This little round circle right here is called your whirl of isolation. It's an unusual feature. It's on the lunar mount. Some people have it, some people don't. It reveals isolation in your inner life and your need for space. Like if you're a person that needs a lot of solitude, you probably have one of these. It's on your Venus mount. You have your Ring of Solomon. This is your Ring of Solomon up here. And then down here, your travel lines. You didn't know it was this complicated, did you? It's actually not complicated. There's just a lot of moving parts to it. If you can learn tarot, you can learn palms. You have your teacher square, which is that little square up there, and your passion line. Yeah. And then here you have your loop of nature, your loop of sensitivity. Your girdle of Venus. Okay, this is your need for fantasy and the fantastic and the magical. We probably all have that one, right? This one is your Via Lascivia. Um, this is people who have an intense reaction to stimulant narcotics will have a very deep one of these. Um, it can be it can also be an indication like you have an overactive immune system or an overactive imagination. This is a very stimulated speed. These are people that like would really be very responsive to stimulant narcotics. So if you have one of these, be careful around pain pills that speed you up. Things like caffeine even. This just says you have a predisposition to be very affected by those things. And did you know that some palmists will tell you if you have this line and it's deep, you need to get an allergy test because you will be at a higher instance for having severe allergies. Did you know that? I did not know that. I've read that in several palmistry books, but it's nice to have a visual. So I hope you've enjoyed this little walkthrough. I have been using this deck and have really been enjoying it because it is very matter of fact. It does give you extra resources if you want to if you want to explore it on your own and just kind of take your time. You can actually even take like a little pen and mark out the places on your hand and go back and refer to the cards and read your own palm. This is a great thing to do just with other people. Like if you're bored and you want something to do, read your friend's palms, and then read it again a year later and see how it's changed. You'll be surprised. So again, this is palmistry at your fingertips. There's a link in the down bar if you want to check it out. It is on Amazon. So, yeah. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.